Hello Diecast fans, welcome back or welcome for the first time. My channel Dutch Says It All likes to entertain you with restorations and modifications of all sorts. I am Dutch and in this video I resto-mod the second Porsche 906 from a series of 3 which started with the green Porsche. If you have not yet seen this video, I recommend you watch it first. My main objective was to create the green Porsche but left with 2 other stripped cars. I decided to create a race version inspired by an old picture I saw on the internet and my own memories from childhood when I spent many hours, days and weeks on the Zandvoort circuit in the Netherlands. Because I needed the yellow engine canopy from the blue and white Porsche for the green Porsche, I was now inspired to use the blue canopy from the red and white Porsche for my new project. If you can still follow me. The blue and white Porsche was in good condition, but play worn. Some of you may think I should fully restore the car to original, but that is not really what I like to do. There are already many resto vloggers that do this and do this to perfection. I like to create realistic versions of cars from my memory or from my imagination. Taking the car apart I already showed in the first video, so I spare you the details. The stripping and cleaning was also done, so we quickly move forward high speed. After stripping, I like to spend some time to make sure all imperfections are removed using my Dremel tool with the brush. Next, I wanted the wheels to look a bit more realistic. I decided to use a Dremel engraving rod to work on the spokes. After that, I would work further with a rotating grinding stone. Now with the Sharpie I put some black on the deeper parts of the wheel. So after that a little bit more grinding for the realistic effect. To make the wheels look even more realistic I grind off some of the outer rim. I am happy with the better look. See the difference with the other side that's not done yet. And next I am shaping the body to a more realistic look. Now I will speed through this as it is basically similar to my previous green Porsche. If you have not seen that, I highly recommend you watch that because it explains all in detail. Some of the work is pretty logical because it is taking off the little casting or molding residue. Other things have more to do with the actual shape of the real Porsche compared to the model by Corgi. Again, this is all explained in my previous video. Because in this project I am representing the first generation 906, I am going to remove the little race winglets that you find on the slightly later models. And that worked pretty good. It looks very clean, and now the car is basically totally ready for painting. Because I'm creating a pure race car, I removed the passenger seat, as that does not make any sense. In real, everything of weight would have been removed. And this also allows me to add some realistic details, which I will show you later in this video. Next comes the more challenging project, and that is I wanted to create an open cabin canopy, a sort of a targa canopy, which I have seen existed, so I need to see how I can get that out. For this I'm using a rotary cutter, which I'm carefully gonna apply. The challenge is the fact that the more of the plastic I cut away, the more fragile the piece becomes. I must admit that so far it went a lot easier than I expected, and the plastic is stronger than I expected, so basically not a very tough job. So to finish the job and do the detailing, I'm using a very fine etching tool, which takes away all the little imperfections. I dare to say that that is a result, totally as I hoped it would turn out. Very nice. Put on the car, it even looks better. Man, that's great. Finally, I sanded the canopy with some 1200 grade sandpaper and polished it off with a car polish, which makes it look very clear. For the body paint I used the Tamiya primer white, and I'm happy to see that there are basically no imperfections, so I did a good job in preparing it. Now for my next stunt, I'm gonna ask you to guess what this is gonna be. What do I really need in the car that I need to use this electric plug for? I'll let you look at it and let you guess for a little while. I'll be back when I show you what it is. I'll bet you guessed already what this is going to be and what it is necessary for. Have a look at this. Maybe you guessed it right. Well, here is the metallic blue painted car. turned out absolutely fantastic. What a beautiful color. Can you believe that I only used a spray can for this, and not even a spray can of the higher quality? This is a $2 metallic blue from a local store, local supermarket. Absolutely fantastic result. Because I cut out that passenger seat, I wanted to add some realistic details. So I put in some cabling on the floor that will show later, and it will probably give a pretty good result. I painted the cabin in an aluminium color, and now you also see the two red bombs as part of a vintage inboard automatic fire extinguishing system. Next I'm going to paint the engine bay, the engine and the rear suspension in a silver color, so I can color it in later for the detailing. If you want to see the actual painting and detailing of the engine and the rear suspension, I recommend watching my previous movie, as both engines are basically exactly the same. I also painted a little bit more detail on the driver itself, including the safety harness, so he can sit there and drive safe. And now what it was all about. I can put the blue engine canopy on the blue car, totally as I had hoped it would look. That makes so much more sense than the original Corgi toy. After detailing the engine and rear suspension, I'm now putting some black on the dashboard. Give it a more realistic look. You will see the result later. Because the original Corgi model rides very high on its wheels and looks very unrealistic, I'm adding some cut-off matchsticks under the axles, so the suspension becomes a lot stiffer and the car will lay much lower. I use a little bit of chrome pen to give it a beautiful look. Because the steering wheel kind of broke off when I was dismantling it, I used a little bit of super glue and baking powder to make it sturdy again. And with my Molotow chrome pen, I'm painting the little mirrors, the rear view mirrors. We're coming close to the end, but there was another detail that I wanted to do, and that is the strips that hold the bottom up. I don't really know what they are, but they are of a different color on the real car, so I use a gunmetal mix to make those strips look better. And now for something that I have not done for ages. Probably the last time was before I discovered girls, and that is putting transfers on models. So let's see if I still know how to do that. well, that was actually a piece of cake. I still knew how to do it, and yeah, it finishes off the car. Looks pretty good. Well, now we can have a look at the end result. We see some details of the engine, the interior, all the minor things I did to it. I left the canopy off so you can have a good look inside. The dashboard, steering wheel, the driver, the fire extinguishers, the cables. Yep, this is a very nice project. And for those who did not believe there was an open version of this car in real, well, this was my inspiration. And here is the end result. I'll leave you to it for a while. You may have noticed the reproduction Carrera 6 sticker or transfer on the back. In hindsight, I decided to take this thing off because A, it was of poor quality, and B, I don't think it really enhanced the looks of the car. So before you write me about this, please realize that thing is already off and it looks so much better. I must admit that this was another really fun project to work on. It took many hours to prepare, but I must say it was worth every minute. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do, because that's what we do it for, and that's why I spend a lot of time on filming everything and editing it. But anyway, it's a good memory for me too. Now the question is what am I gonna do with number 3, which is now a bare body with a lot of spare parts. And I have no idea what kind of car I can make out of that. So if any of you have a suggestion, please put it in the comment section and I will consider it. The funniest one I will take on. And I look forward to a new project. I have no idea what that's going to be yet, but I hope I will see you back for the next video. Look in the end of this video to see more videos I produced before, and click on it if you are interested. Enjoy it, thank you, enjoy your hobby, and till the next time. Thank you, bye bye.